So I want to talk about a page on your store that has the potential to be one of the highest performing pages to get people into action, to find a product and actually get to the sale. However, it's also one of the pages that's most often neglected, underserved, and underappreciated on your store. And that page is the collection page, okay? So the collection page, also known as a category page, is where you group products of a similar type. So you may have a clothing collection, or if you're selling bicycles, you may have all kids bikes in one category, a women's category, a mountain bike category, full suspension category, front shock only category, cruiser category, things like that, right? And it's a way to group like and similar products into a place where a buyer or a visitor or a shopper can go look at all those products of a similar type and start selecting which are the ones that interest them the most, or which ones that interest them the most that allow them to continue on into the process. Now, whether you're on Shopify, Magento, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, whatever, they all have their own category/collection default functionality where you simply assign a product to a collection or to the category, and then that's it. And it automatically populates the page, it automatically organizes the page, it displays the page, has whatever widgets and stuff that it has on there, and that's where most people leave off. They stop. They think, okay, well, I've done it, I got the collection, I'll link to it from my homepage, from my navigation menu, and I'm good. All right? That couldn't be further than the truth. Okay, the collection page, or the category page, I'll probably use the term back and forth, but they're the same thing. The collection page is actually one of the main pages on your website where visitors will spend the most time and have the ability to spend the most time, where time on site measurements can actually be skyrocketed, and the longer you can get a visitor to spend on your site, the higher the likelihood of a conversion. Okay, so page timings and dwell time and all that stuff is very, very important. You want them to stay on the site, okay? The problem is when they hit a collection page that's not dialed in and is not user-friendly, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a second, they tend to bounce, okay? So the purpose of a category page is to take them one step closer to finding what it is that they want, okay? And for those shoppers who aren't exactly sure what they want or what they need, the category page, the collection page, is supposed to be there to facilitate the visitor finding what it is that they want, okay? The problem is that most category pages that we encounter, and we come into contact with thousands and thousands of stores each and every year, and the vast majority of them have that default collection that I was talking about. So what should your category page be like? Well, a category page, when I land on it, and we'll stick with the mountain bike examples for this video because it'll keep it consistent. If I want to find mountain bikes, I'm not interested in every mountain bike. Maybe I'm Trek, and the store has 600 SKUs, 600 different mountain bikes. Well, if I'm a man, then I'm probably not interested in women's bikes. If I'm looking for a bike for myself, I'm probably also not interested in kids' bikes. Okay, so if I go to a collection page or a category page and it's this blob mass of all these products that I have to sort through, and there're just tons and tons of them and things like that, I'm going to get overwhelmed. I'm going to get frustrated because I don't want to scroll through things that I don't want to see. Okay, so there should at the very least be a filtering option. So the simple way would be to have like a men's, kids, women's category, 3 different little things where you can select through. Okay, or maybe they click men's and it only shows them the men's bikes. Okay, very simple to set that up, but that's the most basic version of it. Okay, think about stores that you shop at online that are that you use a lot, okay, and that you actually use the filters, like Best Buy or Wayfair, which is phenomenal with their filtering system, or even Amazon, right? So they have filters like for the mountain bikes. They have colors, they may have type, they may have suspension, they may have men's, women's, female, which is men, women, or children, excuse me. They may have downhill bike, road bike, street bike, beach bike. They may have all these different filter options so that when you select it, if I want a full suspension mountain bike, I can select mountain bike and full suspension, and boom, everything else that's not a mountain bike and full suspension disappears. Okay? But I need those options, okay? Because that way I can get to what I'm looking for. And if you only have, let's say you have 600 products, but only 6 that are men's and full suspension, well, why should I have to wade through 600 products? You're wasting my time. You're not doing me as the visitor a service, okay? So when it comes to filters, you should have as many filters as possible that are relevant. Don't have filter, like if you have a fragrance filter, but you're selling mountain bikes, most of your mountain bikes probably don't have a scent, so that makes no sense, right? You want to have filters that are relevant, okay? And you want to have as many different filters that are relevant to the consumer, to the shopper. When you're shopping the mountain bike, maybe they care about weight. Is it a heavy bike, okay? Maybe they care about gear ratio or how many gears it has. Do they care if it is a aluminum frame bike or a Y-frame bike or things like that? What are the frame styles? All of those things that are important to them. All right, the size. Bikes have different sizes based on the height of the person. So you need to have all of those in there. Now, where do you have them? You should have it in the most prototypical layout that you possibly can. Prototypical meaning the same layout that they're used to seeing on other stores they frequent. Considering that 53 cents of every dollar is spent on Amazon when spent online, Amazon's a good one to make sure you mimic in that regard. So that would mean left aligned navigation vertically down the side of the page. Okay, and they're checkboxes. When they check it, it selects only those items, and all the other things that don't relate to that check mark or that tag disappear. When they uncheck it, everything comes back. They should be able to select multiple checkboxes. They should be able to unselect the checkbox without having to click a reset button or anything else. Okay, now you should also have your, over on the top right, you should still be able to sort by bestseller, sort by price low to high, price high to low, and those kind of filters as well. Now, those are the default filters that almost all category pages have, but those are not enough in and of itself. Now, for example, a lot of your shoppers are not coming with a very specific purchase in mind. They may be coming with a general thought, or they're just browsing, or they're trying to narrow it down. So let's go back to the mountain bike example. I'm a guy. I come to your mountain bike store, and I know I need to buy a mountain bike, okay? My last mountain bike was really heavy, okay? But I don't want a heavy mountain bike this time. I also don't really know what I want other than I need to be a mountain bike, and I want a guy's bike, okay? So I'm looking through, you got 600 options, okay? I don't know, do I need a full suspension? Do I need a this? Do I need a that? I don't know what I want yet. You know what, but I like red. So I want a red bike. So I want to be able to select men's bikes, mountain bikes, red, okay? And then it will select all those bikes, okay? But my other consideration was I didn't want a really heavy bike, but I don't know what is heavier than others. So then I could go over to another filter and I could select sort by weight, lowest to highest, okay? Or highest to lowest, right? Then it's going to reorganize those selections of men's mountain bikes that are red and allow me to see in order which one's the heaviest to the least heaviest, or the lightest to the most heaviest, and only those categories that I want. And as I start looking at them, then maybe I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I only want a front shock bike. I don't need full suspension. So I could select front shock or deselect full suspension, and boom, it would take those away and narrow my choices even more. Now, I'm being served with the most relevant information that I need to make the decision of which bike I want to click through to see the product page on. When you allow me to do that, you're making my shopping experience good. You're showing me that you care about me as a customer and that you actually want to help me find what I like, and you're not just trying to make a quick buck off me. And I feel confident that I am able to make the right decision on the purchase that I'm trying to make, okay? So those filters are critical, all right? Now also, if you have tons and tons of products and categories, let's say you have, 2 or 3 pages worth of products, you don't want to use pagination, okay, which is where they get to the bottom of the page, it says go to page 2, go to page 3, go to page 4. It's better to use a load more button that when they click it, it loads the next page, so to speak, within the same window that they were already on. It's much easier for mobile experience. It's much easier for everything. Another point, since I mentioned mobile, is you never want to use drop downs if you can avoid it for your filtering. You always want to use checkboxes and expand and collapsible menus down the left-hand side, or potentially a narrowed version across the top on mobile. That can work as well. But when you're trying to scroll on a mobile category page and you're scrolling with your thumb or your finger, and then you're trying to select a drop down and then scroll through the drop down, it becomes problematic, and it makes for a really bad user experience, which gets frustrating, and then the user will bounce. Okay. Now, if you're not utilizing all of these things on your category page, then you are making it you're doing a disservice to your customer. And I would venture to say that if you were watching your tracking and your session tracking and all of that to see how your users are, you would find that your category page is one of the biggest leaking points of your business. You're losing customers and losing visitors heavily on that category page, where instead it could be a major boon and a major help to your store. Okay. So anyway, guys, there's a bunch of tips for your category page. Apply those, get those out there. There's apps out there that will allow you to instantly and easily add filtering and category options to your page, to your category page, so you don't have to try to custom code it or anything. Don't reinvent the wheel. There's good stuff out there. Just make sure you find an app that allows for the features that you need based on the product types that you're selling and what your visitors are looking for. And if you want more tips on how to dial in your store, watch these videos right here, okay? And also, don't forget to click the button below to subscribe and click the little bell icon to make sure you get notified on every video we release.